Hey, how you doing? This is John. Welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're going to look at Deluxe Comics, Wally Wood's The Thunder Agents, issue number 1. Yes, this is the third number 1 of the Thunder Agents. And this is how I found out about the Thunder Agents. When this was on the shelves, this George Perez drawing of all the heroes lined up, I don't know, something about this tone of brown and the lightning, it just stuck out, and I had to have it. I mean, I had to have it for the George Perez artwork. I've said this a million times. George Perez and John Byrne were like an orbiting atom of my two favorite superhero artists. Are just outstanding. So I didn't know who these characters were, so I did like a deep dive after this came out. So let's do a little rundown since their names aren't on the cover. We got Lightning over here, super fast, and the suit activates his metabolism, so he ages faster as he uses the suit. This is the Undersea Agent. So he has this suit that's designed to withstand the sea pressure, so he could dive to insane depths. And then, because that wasn't exciting enough, they gave him these cuffs that interact with his bloodstream that was affected by like some sort of magic science device that gives him magnetic powers. This is Mentor. This is new. There always was a Mentor, but that Mentor died. And the helmet has been like an artifact that the good guys and the bad guys have been fighting over. It's been like the magic MacGuffin throughout the series. So now it lands on her. This is Dynamo, Len Brown. He's the breakout character. He hits that button, and it supercharges his cells, so he becomes super dense, super heavy, super invulnerable, and super strong. I mean, look at that great costume design, Wally Wood. And this is No Man, my favorite. He's Anthony Dunn. He was a 72-year-old scientist with, I think, a terminal illness. And he designed a robot android body that could accept his brain patterns. So he transfer his consciousness into the robot, and the robot is, stronger, more durable, and he has a whole bunch of them. So he could just jump body out if he gets destroyed, he could send the body, his brain patterns to another body. So, and he started in the Joe Carbonaro series. I like that he was starting to question whether or not he was actually alive or not. Was he Anthony Dunn, or was he a computer programmed to think and act like Anthony Dunn? That's for philosophers to decide. This is Craig Lawson, the Raven. I couldn't stand the Raven in the original series. It was really poorly drawn. It was just so bad, and they just made him really cool in the 2-issue JC comic series, and they just follow up with the coolness of this. So he became my second favorite. The No Man is my favorite, and that's Weed, Kitten, and Dynamite, the Thunder Agents. They are like the regular people that are the backup support for the super agents. So here we got the Raven, drawn by oh, look at this. We got Danny Thomas, that's Roy Thomas's wife. George Perez is the artist. Dave Cockrum. So George Perez and Dave Cockrum. Oh my God, and John Workman, my favorite letterer. That's Patty Cockrum. She's the colorist, one of my favorite colorists. And I'm sorry, I don't know Neil Hansen, and I don't know David Singer except for this. And he's just looking over that city. George Perez, look at all of that. That is just awesome. And he's flying around, and it's like James Bond. So they're giving him like the James Bond story. So he's in Monte Carlo, super betting's going on, and then this is Phoenicia, the sexy girl. She's dancing around. She's the femme fatale. I mean, I just spoiled it, but we're going to see and she's dancing around, and she's like, come meet me in 10 minutes. So she pulls up in the hot car. She's, fast moving. He puts, and he puts his hand on her thigh, and she's like, look out. And she doesn't care about this guy. She just drives through. So he jumps out. He's a hero. He's like, oh my God, this guy's going to die. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? And as he's doing it, she poison injects him in the back. It was all a setup. She was gonna do some sort of vehicular homicide to put him off because she knew he was a good guy. So now, it was like this. He just wakes up in the beach. I don't know, like wherever they are, Abu Dhabi, Monaco, I forget where. But you'd think like the police would find this guy, unless everybody drinks, and the hot chicks are like, look at you can come to my house or whatever. And turns out the poison was he has the Raven suit on under his costume, and so the needle didn't really penetrate. It just gave him enough of a dose to make him pass out. And there's Phoenicia doing stunts up there, because why not? She's into daring do, and he flies off to go get her. She stole a diamond. You know, who cares? I just find it, like, in the horrors of the world of today, like, I just don't care about diamond thefts. You know what I mean? I know it's not like a comic book got stolen or anything like that, but that's you know, that's the James Bond experience. Oh my God, a diamond got stolen. We got to do something about this. You know, I just laugh. But anyway, he's going and he shoots rockets at the plane, blows up all the missiles. She's firing missiles at him. She's machine gunning him. Blah 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 blah. Daring do fires like it's leaving a smoke trail instead of you know, smoke. It leaves like acrid poison, and he dodged it, smashes it out. And what happens? He's about to get her, and boom! The ship explodes, and she rockets away to safety. Curses foiled again. Phoenicia. She's the and later on, she was a Thunder agent, like a normal human Thunder agent, and she seduced him. They were like an item. That was his fiance, and she broke his heart and joined Spider, the evil organization. There you go. Look at that great drawing of lightning. Look at that. That is just awesome. So now this is. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is why I got this comic, because my friends like Villains and Vigilantes. For those of you who are new to the channel, and if you are, thank you and hello. I originally I own and operate a website called the Villains and Vigilantes Forum.com. You could type that into your browser and you could go to, and it's a website that like heralds my role playing tabletop game. And that's what I've been doing for, like, before I even started John's Longbox. I've been maintaining that. I've been pretty much the only person on the internet, I'm not even exaggerating, that's been heralding this game for like 20 years, to the point where I got people interested in it again. The original owners reached out to me and wanted to like get me to help promote their game, and then the guy who owned it and the people who created it got into a legal battle, and they were asking me to pick sides, and then one side was really jerky about it and kind of insulted me and threatened to sue me. And I'm like, dude, I'm just a fan that runs a fan website for a video game that a tabletop role-playing game that nobody cared about since 1982, and you busted my chops. No, you guys wouldn't be fighting over the creative rights of this role-playing game if I didn't keep the public interest. And they both left me alone. Well, one guy was a cool guy, you know, but the other side, and I'll let you decide who was the jerk and who was the nice guy. But anyway, this is written up so you can play this character. You can make him an NPC or a player character in your game. I absolutely love that. I was, you know, you better believe I incorporated that into my game. So here we have No Man, drawn by Steve Ditko. And then this. And you know what's funny? Because I reread this before the video, and I had no recollection of the story. And then it dawned on me. At one point, I hated Keith Giffen so much I couldn't read this. This art was so bad to me that I couldn't read it. It's not my favorite stuff. Keith Giffen is phenomenal, but this Keith Giffen Rick Bryant combo is not the best. So this is Mento, and it's supposed to be all crazy and everything like that, because it's showing that this mental helmet causes problems to the wearer. So she's like a little confused what's going on. She has to take the helmet off to get clarity. And she doesn't know what's going on. And here she is. She's like messed up. She's like getting too involved in this guy's life, where she's projecting herself to look like his ex-girlfriend, and you know, she goes home and doesn't know what to do, because she can't, like, when you read somebody's mind and then like get involved in their psyche, she can't help but get a little confused about what's her life, what's this, and then she finds out that this like malignant tumor-like psychic entity has invaded his brain, and that's what's causing him to have these mental issues. I freaking love this. I love this, and I can't believe it took me so long to actually read it. So she's using her mental powers as like a brain surgeon to exorcise this mental tumor, you know. And then when it comes to this guy's like, he's like a living embodiment of rage. You know, his apartment is destroyed. He's been stealing, like it, being a criminal, and he's just throwing the money at her. He's like, I'm so sorry, I'll be, and the police arrest him, and he's like, I'll be good, you know. And the police were ready to like rough him up because they had enough of his nonsense in the neighborhood. You know, it's, you know, I don't know. I like the story more than I thought. Look at Iron Maiden. She is the bad guy, and she has the hots for Dynamo. Her name is Rusty, but I don't know what her last name is. They just call her Rusty because she has red hair. And Rusty, the Iron Maiden, you know, I've been reading this for 20 years, and I just made the connection now. I never claimed to be intelligent. And she's always hitting on him and, like, tying him up and kissing him. And what happens in this series goes beyond that. So here's the deluxe line of comics, and I'll talk a little bit about the meta story behind the comics. So now we got Wally Wood's The Thunder Agents. Look at this. Dave Cockrum's the artist, John Workman, Patty, Neil Hansen. So it's the same team, except Steve Englehart is the writer. Steve Englehart is the same writer that did the Captain America story where, the Secret Empire, where like the demoralized president ends up trying to kill himself. So I love this. He's walking down the street with a gun, and he's just walking down the street, and here he's having an existential crisis. Am I really human? Am I a robot? Do I want human companionship? Do I want to be by myself? And that's always been Nomad. I don't know. I kind of like that because he's ultimately good. As soon as he sees a girl's in trouble, she comes out. I love that, the high heels, and she comes running out, and he's always attracted to girls. But he's always just like, oh, this girl isn't gonna like me because I'm a monster and blah 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 blah. Woe is me. I always love. He's a classic Pinocchio. I haven't talked about this in a while, but I've got a lot of new subs. So I created this concept years ago when I was talking with my friends. I said something about Ben Grimm, The Thing, and I was like, yeah, he's like Pinocchio. He just wants to be a real boy again. He wants to be really, and then that's become my catch-all phrase for like characters that aren't human that want to be human. Either they lost their humanity, like the Thing or the Hulk or No Man, or they never were human, like Hellboy, but he still wants to be human, like Atomic Robo, which another comic that I keep saying I'm going to showcase and I never do. But I love the Pinocchio. It's one of my favorite superhero tropes. You lost your humanity, and because of that, you're usually like more good and more humane because you value what you lost. Like the Thing is the softy of the paradoxically he's rock skin, but he's also the softy, because he value. And like the Human Torch got a cool power. He flies around and he takes his humanity for granted. That's why the Torch is my least favorite of the Fantastic Four. But let's get back to this. So he's doubting. He's like, should I just become a recluse? What about, I'm immortal. Why should I become friends with these people? I'm just going to watch them die. Blah, blah, blah. And then girl screams she's in trouble, immediately springs into action. So he goes in like, what's going on? She escaped from these kidnappers. They would do horrible things to her. He goes in, and what is it? It's a recording of people laughing and gunfire, and boom, the building blows up. She's a spider agent. Dun, dun, dun. And then the next body just wakes up, and he's been duped. Now, the problem is, he was wearing his cape of invisibility. There's only one cape of invisibility, so he always has to go back and get his cape. So he's being set up for a trap. Somebody knows this. So he calls it, and here comes Lightning. And Lightning's already huffing and puffing because he's already aging. And he's like, no, don't help me. Don't go get the cape. I'll take care of it. And here comes Weed and Kitty. And he's like standoffish to her. They are in love, but he's like, I'm an old man now. I'm going to die soon. So he's trying to be noble and like go live with somebody else. And then here's a new one, China. He's the new agent. He looks like Bruce Lee. He knows kung fu, but he's like cocky and arrogant, and he's pissed off because whenever they develop new armaments, like the lightning suit or the Thunderbolt, they always recruit from the Thunder Squad. So he's like, I'm next. He wants to wear the lightning suit, and he's really mean about it. He goes like, the only reason why you're getting old is because you have a weak will. He goes, with my will and proper training, I won't get old. And then they go through holograms, which is the teleporter, talking about everything. And this guy's always a jerk, just always a jerk. And now that they're talking about all the Thunder agents, there's the Undersea agent, there's Raven. Raven's always doing high flying, daring do. I just love this. He's got like Wolverine claws. I mean, back in 1984, if you had Wolverine claws, you were cool. And all the agents are being taken out one by one. So this flying guy shoots him. Lightning, they're still telling Lightning, stay still, because they're like, you're going, they don't want him to die. He's looking for his cape. Mentor she's like suffering already. Every time she uses her mental ability, like she kind of like, the veil of her mind and other minds kind of like become thinner and thinner. So she's reluctant, and it's not just her. They kind of did that back in 1965. I kind of like that. So she's like doubting her powers. And then of course there's Dynamo, who's just perfect. The belt works, everything works. And now as he's trying to sneak up, a news crew just come on and start interviewing him. And he's always like super strong. He's pure good, but he's always kind of like a little bit naive, So as he's talking to him, he realizes that this is a weapon, and boom, they're shooting at him. They're trying to take him out. It was all a setup, And as they're fighting him, they just go down to the street, and like, here's the bad guy. He lives in this house. They're like in like Seattle or something like that, a regular suburb, and then robots attack them. It's just insane. And he's just beating the crap out of robots. He gets overpowered. So they captured Raven. They captured Dynamo. Oh, as I knock things over. And he's like, I'm going to trick them. He's like, no man followed you, invisibility. He's here in the room, And what happened? He's been conditioned. He's been like temporarily mind controlled. So he's like, oh, no man's here. So he changes like the light frequencies, and it shows that he's here. So now he's going to capture No Man. And who is it? Dun dun dun. It's Egghead. Okay, you don't know who Egghead is. Egghead was the leader of the Thunder Squad who died. He died in like, when did they give you the number? Oh yeah, he died in Thunder Agents 2. He died. He was the leader. And they were just showing you that there was some serious stakes. A lot of Thunder agents were killed. Thunder, like the Thunder Squad, they were like the red shirts at Star Trek. They were dropping like flies. And he was the one with a name. He was a leader. He had, he had a big part in issue 1, and he died in issue 2. But he didn't die. They left him for dead. And now they're all feeling guilty. Like, if we knew you were alive, we would have rescued you. He's like, oh yeah, well, the Subterraneans, they're a group of evil Subterraneans. They gave him technology, found him, rebuilt him, and like, is he really him? Is he just bitter, or or is he mind wiped? And what are they doing? They're going to use him because he's a super genius, and he's going by the super villain named Psychosis, and he's going to beat the crap out of him. And here's a tribute to the original Mentor. They're catching you up on the original Mentor. I don't know. I got to check this out. Kelly Green. This looks really cool. And this is a story of the Thunder Agents. So and here's the next cover. That's just awesome. So what happened? Joe Carbonaro bought the rights to the Thunder Agents. All well and good. He did the right thing. He followed legality, and fine. Now this why can't I even remember his name? David Singer. He was partners or associates, and I don't want to assume anything malevolent happened. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm going to assume goodwill until I know otherwise. But Singer was convinced that the Thunder Agents were public domain. So he just made this comic. He got some good funding. He told everybody about it. We're bringing back the Thunder Agents. All of these professionals love the Thunder Agents. So they're like, yeah, we're all on board. And he made a better comic than the JC comic. They came out roughly around the same time. So Joe Carbonaro had to fight in court. And that took up his money. That's why that series only had 2 issues. I hate to say it, this is a better series, but the other guy had the legal rights to publish the comic, and it kind of ruined him. So this made 5 comics. The owner, Joe Carbonaro, only made 2 comics, and they were both excellent. I really wish, like, in an alternative world, they could have patched up their differences and collaborated, or I don't know what they would have done, but I would have been happy with the continuing series of either one. The court ruled that Joe Carbonaro owned the rights, so this had to stop. But I think Joe was like bankrupted at the time. Putting out a comic book, especially at those times, was a lot of money. These days things are a little different. But anyway, that's the story of the comic. It's a shame. So I won't leave you hanging anymore. Dynamo gets captured by the Iron Maiden next issue, and she also captures what she does is she captures the undersea agents. They want to steal his bands and copy his magnetic abilities. Dynamo breaks in and rescues him, or tries to rescue him. He gets apprehended, and Rusty says, if you have sex with me, I'll let him go. So she forces him to have sex. Like, she was always flirty, but that's rape. And they do it in front of an undersea agent who's like, don't do it, let me die, and it was like shocking to me as a kid. I was like, oh man, like, should I be reading this? I don't know. There you go. That's for philosophers to decide. But thank you, everybody. thank you so much. In case you didn't see it, last night I had a live chat with Ethan Van Sciver. It was phenomenal. I need to thank him. I did thank him. I responded. I wrote to him. He responded back that it was his pleasure. The man is very gracious with his time. I mean, the guy's so busy. He has so much to do. He could be on anybody's channel that he wants, and he chose to be on mine for an hour. It was amazing. I can't thank him enough. He's done so much for me. I mean, I got my first super chat because of him. I got like 30 subscribers because of him, and people have been talking about. I've been going on Twitter and people talking about it's. I'm over the moon. It's been so good. So thank you. So go check out my live talk with Ethan Van Sciver. It was very interesting. I probably said too many things that I shouldn't say, but that's me for you. All right, and I'll see you tonight. I'm gonna have a Comics and Monsters with Brian Bao and Fabrizio Aiello, both of them from Alterna Comics. Brian Bao does Wolf and Batsy. Fabrizio does Horace H. Hoover, two of my favorite comics coming out right now. And we're going to talk about monsters, right? We all like monsters, comic books. So Brian loves monsters, and Fabrizio is a monster. So this should be really, really fun. So I'll see you tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow with a normal video. All right, bye-bye.